It's a pleasure to welcome you to the news at 10, reaching you live on the network service of the NTA. My name is Blessing Abu.
And I am Norlene Ebel Ame. We thank you for joining us. Let's begin with the headlines.
President Buhari condemns bandit attack in Katsina State, pleads against reprisal.
Chief of Air Staff restates determination to win the fight against insurgency and other forms of criminality.
Establishment of the Special Operations Command was carefully considered to address challenges of asymmetric warfare, such as the one posed by Boko Haram terrorists.
United Nations women to harness potentials inherent in a buoyant states' rice value chain.
Minister of State Petroleum and former governor of Bayelsa State calls for calm over the Supreme Court judgment.
Let's begin with a story from Katsina State. Armed bandits stormed Sanwa and Daka villages in Basari local government area of Katsina State, killing and destroying property worth millions of naira. Abdul Malik Hassan reports that the bandits stormed the villages at midnight Friday.
Residents of the two villages have since the emergence of the insurgency been living in a relative peace. However, the attack by the armed bandits on the residents on Friday have changed the mood of the two villages, Ankar and Sanwa. As at the time NTA News visited the villages, they were in total silence, the remaining people looking gloomy and brooding over the unfortunate midnight attack. The inferno led to the death of 13 people, including women and infant children, and remaining 17 trying to escape the fire were shot dead in the villages. They stormed the villages, locked down the residents who are sleeping in their houses and set the houses ablaze. They destroyed our properties and now we are homeless. NTA News observed that some of those left have fled the villages to another safe place. The Katsina State Police Commissioner Sanusi Buba visited the area to assess the level of damage.
And no network here, and then also the distance and the bad road. That notwithstanding, they were able to come and engage them to a large extent. His Excellency has done his best in ensuring that sanity is brought to bear.
He said critical investigation will be carried out to ensure that the perpetrators are brought to book. The attack was coming less than 2 months since the state government restricted the motorcycles from the hours of 7 p.m. in the evening to 6 o'clock in the morning.
In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned the latest round of attacks on farmers by bandits in Dakar and Sanwa villages in Basari local government area of Katsina State, saying that killing people in the name of revenge is not acceptable. Reacting to the incident in which many homesteads were razed by fire with many people killed at weekend, the president warned that no one in the country has a right to take laws into his hands by the way of self-help or revenge. The president directed local communities that catch bandits to hand over the suspects to law enforcement authorities instead of meting out capital punishment, leading to a cycle of revenge and counter-revenge. He urged community leaders and the local authorities to continue their efforts in partnership with law enforcement agencies that bring the surrender of bandits, leading to peace between farmers and herders. A statement by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, said the authorities must be allowed to investigate and deal with any breach that occurs during that, adding that there is no place for violence in a decent society. President Buhari prayed that God will comfort families that have lost loved ones in the attacks and repose the souls of the victims.
In the same vein, President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed their conviction that with the far-reaching measures put in place by his administration, sooner than later, the Boko Haram insurgency undermining national security and stability will be contained. This was while receiving in audience a renowned Islamic scholar and leader of the Tijaniya movement in Nigeria, Sheikh Dahiru Usman Bauchi, at his official residence. The president said although the situation is not peculiar to Nigeria alone, the federal government will not relent until the menace is brought under control. He directed the nation's military and other security services to be more proactive, decisive, and if need be, ruthless in smoking out and effectively taking care of the criminal elements. President Buhari, however, called on Nigerians to be more understanding and supportive with intelligence and prayers so that normalcy can be restored in the nation's body politic. He reassured the citizenry that justice will not be compromised in the implementation of the next level agenda. This, the president said, is not only to give sense of belonging to all Nigerians, but to also guarantee the desired unity, stability and prosperity of the country. Sheikh Dahiru Usman Bauchi, who was accompanied to the State House by some of his children, commiserated with the president over the recent killing of Nigerians by Boko Haram in Borno State. He assured the president that members of the Tijaniya movement in Nigeria will continue to support his genuine efforts at making Nigeria better with the needed prayers for divine intervention. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that during the visit, special prayers were offered for the nation and its leaders.
Elsewhere, Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, says the training and retraining of personnel underscores the desire of the force to win the fight against insurgency and other forms of criminality in the country.
It is in these regards that the Nigerian Air Force graduated 2,079 personnel after undergoing 6 months training, military training. That is, Mohammed Umar Ajingi now reports.
This is the moment they have been waiting for after 24 weeks of intensive military training. The recruits are equipped with the required skills to discharge their responsibility of protecting the territorial integrity of the country. The reviewing officer of the parade and chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, re-emphasized the readiness of the force to bring to an end attacks by Boko Haram in the northeast.
The Nigerian Air Force had made some remarkable strides in its restructuring efforts. The establishment of the Special Operations Command was carefully considered to address the challenges of asymmetric warfare, such as the one posed by Boko Haram terrorists.
A number of prestigious awards were presented to the personnel who distinguished themselves, including Chief of the Air Staff Award won by Recruit Muhammad. Meanwhile, to provide a decent accommodation for the personnel, the Chief of Air Staff inaugurated 3 blocks of flats built for airmen instructors. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
4 persons are reportedly injured as 2 trucks collided at Kugbo, near Yanya, along the Abuja-Kefi Expressway.
The accident, which occurred at about 2 p.m. Sunday, resulted to hours of gridlock and unbearable hardship for commuters. Oluseyi Adeabo was at the scene of the accident.
Gridlock at Yanya Mararaba Road along Abuja-Kefi Expressway on working days, residents say is a regular occurrence along that axis, but the bomber-to-bomber state of vehicular movement on weekends spells trouble in capital letters. This happened to be the case on Sunday, the 16th of February, as a board truck loaded with bags of cement had a brake failure along Kubo, leaving casualties in its wake.
I was trying to dodge the other Dangote trailer, but he saw cars, small cars around here, so he now moved back and entered under the other Dangote trailer.
Findings from the men of the Federal Road Safety Corps and a press release from the Corps Public Education Officer, Bisi Kazim, indicates that Those injured were taken to the hospital, while a corpse from the crash has been deposited at the mortuary. The accident led to a heavy blockage, prompting the emergency ambulance service scheme known as Zebra to swing into action.
And now the situation now we are trying to clear the road for the free movement of vehicles.
Other security operatives were also on ground to ease the situation, with alternative routes created to abate the situation. Commuters traveling along that route bemoaned the situation, expressing worries over the multiplying of the gridlock. Interestingly, motorcyclists, otherwise known as Okada riders, cashed in on the plight of the stranded travelers as transport fares hit the road.
I've been trekking from AY down to Ngenya.
I've been here since after 6.
Today has not been easy because of this. I missed my interview, my job interview today because of this hold up. On my way coming, I was not even able to meet up.
Hopefully, the situation officers of the FRSC assured will be brought under control in good time. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
And in Lagos, traders at the popular Akpambo market in Lagos again witnessed another fire outbreak as 6 containers loaded with different alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks exploded in fire.
Diana Ajale reports that the fire was curtailed through the efforts of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency and other related agencies on ground.
Lagos State is a commercial hub with over 20 million people, but yet faced with frequent fire outbreak and building collapse, especially around the markets area. The fire outbreak, which occurred Sunday morning, affected 6 containers of various drinks. According to eyewitnesses, it was as a result of overheating from the containers.
We don't think it's all that much. We are even scared that all this place is in danger. So, but by the grace of God, the thing is just few.
We thank God for Lagos State Fire Service. You know, they came at the right time.
Director General, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, advised the public to be mindful of how they store flammable goods.
The fire affected about 6 containers, and we are able to curtail the spread of the fire, and you can see that we are on top of the challenges and we are putting off the fire.
No casualty was recorded before the fire was curtailed. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
To further strengthen the agricultural sector for maximum output, the United Nations Women are introducing an empowerment scheme that will harness potentials inherent in the rice value chain. And that's for being a Ebonyi State. Chika Okare witnessed the launch and now reports.
This UN Women Flagship Scheme will provide modern agricultural techniques, improve seedlings and post-harvest infrastructure to reduce wastages, especially in rice value chain. For the beneficiaries, the project is a dream come true, as drudgery will soon be a thing of the past.
But I'm very grateful that I'm one of the beneficiaries. This program will enable us to get more.
On behalf of the governor, Dr. Kelechi Igwe wants the development partners to take into cognizance the peculiarities of Ebonyi, where women empowerment has advanced through resolute efforts matched with visible actions.
We're doing well in trying to elevate our women to the status of entrepreneurs. As a state government, we shall give all the support that UN Women in Nigeria requires.
Mainstreaming women who contribute over 60% agricultural workforce will result in reducing food insecurity, promote employment opportunities, income generation, enhance the standard of living, as well as strengthen the federal government's economic recovery and growth plan.
This particular program that we are launching today is part of our work here to help the government of Nigeria and Ebonyi State in particular to advance the SDGs.
The program steering committee was inaugurated to build stronger synergy among stakeholders towards promoting women economic empowerment through climate-resilient agribusiness and closing gender gap. In Abakaliki, Chika Ukore, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 10 on the network service of the NTA. After this break, still to come.
Minister of State Petroleum and former Governor of Bayelsa State calls for calm over the Supreme Court judgment. Stay with us.
This is NTA News 24 broadcasting from Abuja. You can watch us anywhere, anytime on the following platforms. For more information, log on to our website www.nta.ng or join us on our social media handles, Twitter at NTA News 24, Facebook at NTA News 24.
For comments, suggestions and inquiries, send an email to news24@nta.gov.ng or call us on the following numbers.
NTA News 24, news and more news.
Thank you for staying with us. The federal government has evolved a new strategy for the mines and steel development sector that will ensure the payment of royalties by multinational companies operating in the country.
Minister of State, Mines and Steel Development, Dr. Uchechukwu Samson Oga, made this known during a familiarization visit to Minna, Niger State. Dauda Mohammed reports.
Nigeria, with about 44 known minerals of commercial quantity spread across the country, has sadly not adequately benefited from a solid mineral sector, due largely to dependence on oil. The new policy thrust of the federal government in diversifying the economy from oil to agriculture and solid minerals necessitated the visit of the Minister of State, Mines and Steel Development to Minna as part of efforts at improving the mining sector and improving revenue generation. People may wonder why the visit to the 700 megawatts Zungeru hydroelectric dam, which is now about 80% completed. Well, the site houses one of the biggest quarry sites in Niger State, and royalty has not been paid to the federal government for over 6 years.
We're going to collaborate, synergize to see how we ensure that all the royalties due to federal government is paid for the interest of the nation.
Earlier, during a visit to the Niger State Governor, Abubakar Sani Bello, the Minister of State, Mines and Steel Development revealed that President Muhammadu Buhari has approved 13% derivation to states from all royalties in the mining sector.
What we are saying is that even states can participate in mining by creating SPVs, using these SPVs as a proposed vehicle to be involved in mining.
With synergy, we're able to share ideas, we're able to share difficulties, and we find long-lasting solution to most of the problems.
The Minister of State, Mines and Steel Development also had an interactive meeting with stakeholders in the mining industry in Niger State, where issues of the importance of community development agreement, land reclamation of mined areas, and Mining Act were discussed. In Minna, Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
And in the oil and gas sector, the Minister of State Petroleum and former Governor of Bayelsa State, Timipre Silva, has called on Bayelsans to shun all acts of violence and lawlessness over the Supreme Court's judgment on the state's governorship election, stressing that such temptations must be resisted in the greater interest of Bayelsa and the country. Silva, in a statement, apologizes to President Muhammadu Buhari, the First Lady, and members of their entourage who had prepared to witness the inauguration of the APC candidate for any inconvenience caused by the development. The leadership of the All Progressives Congress, APC, had directed its team of legal experts to study the situation critically and profile legal options available to the party accordingly. The minister therefore urges all to remain faithful and also have confidence in the wisdom and ability of the party leadership to provide direction at this very sensitive time. He assures the president and APC hierarchy that despite the temporary setback, APC in Bayelsa State remains strong and its members resolute in support of the ideals as envisioned by President Muhammadu Buhari.
The Natural Oil and Gas Suppliers Association of Nigeria, NOGASA, says it is committed to working with other critical key players in the oil and gas industry to fast-track the exploration of Nigeria's rich gas resources.
President of the association, Bennett Korie, made the commitment at a meeting in Abuja. Here's Lydia Sampson with a report.
NOGASA President Bennett Korie also gave the assurance that the association will remain focused on optimizing revenue generated from the oil and gas sector while working closely with the federal government and other key players to intensify the fight against pipeline vandalism.
We are not going to be able to extract money from people. That means we are not collecting money from anybody in any depot in Nigeria. No, we're not going to do that. Even though we know they do that to us, the suppliers, it's not about business. For now, we will concentrate on our business.
The meeting provided the platform for the distribution of vehicles to state councils to boost their operations. The president urged the state councils to ensure compliance with the provision of adequate supply of oil and gas, as well as safety in handling the products. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
And in business, experts are saying with a little more work, that Nigeria can collectively make cities work for all of us, as objective presence anywhere can improve business and financial status of a given environment and for all residents. Let's find out more details with Kolo Mohammed in a business package.
Hello there. Good to have you along. The relationship between the government and national cities is intricate and complex. Major federal policies, especially on tax, trade, transportation, and immigration, have a substantial influence on the health and vitality of city economies and the shape of metropolitan growth and development. In a witty one-on-one with NTA Business News, the chairman, Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC, bears it all.
The influx of people into the city is a demonstration of the fact that in states where they are coming from, they are coming from failed economies. And therefore, coming from this background, when you come to the city, you assume everything is there for you. No, you just have to, make ends meet through hard work. And therefore, the Federal Capital Territory is not a Father Christmas city where everything is available for you to achieve. That is why in the AMAC, where I come from, where I lead, of course, in 2016, I was able to put in place what I call AMAC Investment and Property Development Company. It's a company, it's just a part of the area council, but we needed to do also one or two businesses with the other world. So putting in this concept of business outfit is to encourage people to come in, identify businesses around this area council, and then contribute your quota. In doing that, you can make your ends meet instead of just loitering around the city from area 11 to AYA, from AYA to Bega, just asking for favors unnecessarily.
And finally, the week's activity on the floor of the Stock Exchange opens today. As always, NTA Business News will bring you closing figures subsequently. My name is Kolo Mohammed. Good to have you along. Be with you again soon.
Thank you, Kolo. In its determination to curtail the unwholesome activities of distributors and vendors of uncensored home and foreign videos in the country, the National Film and Video Censors Board continues its nationwide banning of such materials in order to protect the nation's movie industry.
The exercise in Osun State was led by the Executive Director of the board, Adedayo Thomas, where uncensored materials, including pornographic videos, have been destroyed.
The burning of pirated copies of foreign and owned videos, including unclassified ones, is a nationwide campaign by the National Film and Video Censors Board to rid the society of such uncertified materials, including pornographic films. Accompanied by the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs and the Commissioner for Commerce and Industries, Osun State, the Executive Director of the board, Adedayo Thomas, while touching the confiscated materials, warned vendors of such materials against the illicit trade or face the full wrath of the law.
This is a mark and is a warning to those who perpetrate in the stealing of intellectual property of the actors, actresses, directors, and executive producers. We call it uncensored, unclassified, and pirated work, and especially pornographic works that tends to, build our young ones in a very bad light.
Osun has zero tolerance for criminality. Piracy is a form of criminality.
Some 30 practitioners in Osun State witnessed the exercise at Abere Government Secretariat.
Coming up with this type of a thing, burning all these seized materials. In fact, it was a job well done. And we will want it to be a continuous exercise.
We need the establishment of the Video Censors Board in the state of Osun.
The uncensored materials destroyed is estimated at about 20 million naira. In Osogbo, Joshua Ogushide, NTA News.
It is an organization with more than 35,000 clubs globally and a membership strength of more than 1.2 million in 200 countries, celebrating its Family Day.
This is no other but Rotary International, whose shared belief is to ensure a better society for all through selfless service in areas of health, education, sanitation and empowerment. Olainka Ojo was at the 2020 Family Day of Rotary, and this was what he brought back.
This is the 17th year. The Family of Rotary Day was instituted by the first African Rotary International President, Jonathan Majiagbe, who also used the day to administer polio vaccine to children, as Nigeria looks forward to becoming a polio-free nation in less than 6 months.
That's why we have community projects, and indeed our flagship program of Polio Plus is to make sure we wipe polio from the face of the earth.
Because when you leverage on strength of numbers, you can do a lot.
The day enables friends and members of Rotary to express love to the world, particularly the less privileged, as they engage in series of activities for all people regardless of class, age, gender and ethnicity. With love still in the air, some of the children expressed excitement, thinking that they were forgotten.
Like, today is great. When I actually came here, I thought everything would be like so boring.
Being here is fun.
The evening climaxed with a tug of war and a novelty match between Team Polio Plus and Team Hepatitis Zero, as government and its partners work towards complete eradication of the disease. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
You are on to the news at 10 on NTA News 24, reaching you live on the network service of the NTA. We'll take a break and come back shortly. Stay with us.
NTA, you can't beat the reach. Information.